Watching the Research Revolution. My name's James Munder. Today we are discussing climateviewer.org with its creator,
What's
Jim
up,
Lee.
guys?
Hey, it's amazing what you did. I'm really ashamed to say that I had no idea about that, man.
Don't be when you have the world's only NSA facility map. It's kind of hard to get it out there.
For sure. How long did it take you to create this particular project?
I've been working on 3.5 years.
And it's fairly accurate.
It's the most accurate on the planet.
So can you kind of describe to us how it works?
Absolutely.
Kind of
I
screen
guess
share.
from a layman's perspective.
Yeah. Are you on the thing? I don't know why
Yeah.
it's doing a double thing. There you go. Jim, you're on.
Yeah. Let me do this real quick. 1 sec.
I come from a military map background. I was with in the military for 5 years, and I'm a map expert. So this is something I can relate to.
Cool. Yeah. So like I was kind of going into the military for that thing, the same thing. Spy satellite optics. Me and the military really didn't agree, but
I
I ended
worked
up
tight
doing
with
it
the
anyway.
S2. When I was with the brigade headquarters, I was at Fort Hood. I was with the S2 guys, and all we did was look at maps all day long.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so like, yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I figure a picture's worth 1,000 words,
Damn
and
right.
that this is the best way for me to show people. uh, I'll give you a good example right now. Whoever is the host, if you just click on me, I think it'll bring my video up to full screen or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
have to screen share as well.
Yeah,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Screen share.
can you guys see my screen share?
Well, you
We
can
could
see
see
your
it, but
face emblem.
I could. I'm the only one.
What I think about Fukushima, when that thing blew and started putting all that radiation into the water, right? It's been
Yeah,
5 years now. So basically, what's happened with the Pacific Ocean is the hot water tap has been turned on for the last 5 years, and now it's just destroying everything in the Northern Pacific. Is that
yeah,
right? Is that about right?
yeah. I mean, honestly,
And
like
that toxic water with the plastic and everything in it.
it's kind of a wash. I mean, like I'm not. I try to keep it real. You know what I mean? Like everybody, I could be world famous tomorrow if I just go around scaring the shit out of people. But what's the point? Um, so radioactivity in the ocean is the best place it could possibly be because that is the recycling system of our planet. These heavy particles, say they rain out on land. Water washes them away. They end up in the ocean. They go to the bottom of the ocean. They're sucked into the crust. They're turned into magma. They get pushed back up through the crust again. They become a mountain. And that's where radioactivity is stored. So, like when we're doing, where they blow the top of a mountain off, all that contains radioactive material. It's stored inside the rock where it should be. And same is true with radiation that's been dumped in this fashion. For it to go to the bottom of the ocean is probably the best thing possible. It could be worse. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
And plus, our grandparents lived through 2053 nuclear explosions, which I will show
Right.
you. Which I will show you right now.
I've always considered myself the second generation of child of the atom, because like my parents came and then I came, and so I'm seeing what has happened to my environment and my world since they started doing that.
But also, I mean, all my grandparents died of cancer. So,
Oh,
I
I'm still
mean,
looking forward to that.
there
Everybody
obviously is
is
there
dead.
obviously
I'm
is an
all right.
effect. If there's a cause, there's an effect, right?
Right.
And is most of this stuff cesium? What's in the water? Is it all kinds of heavy
It's not
material?
just cesium. You got cesium, plutonium, radioactive iodine. There's a bunch of different, and plus you have to understand that all of these turn into other things. They're constantly decaying. So
Is,
cesium turns into
is cesium
another.
more of a catalyst at that point?
It's just radioactive material that's
Okay.
decaying. So it's gonna anything that it touches is gonna destroy that as well. They just rip atoms apart. So if it touches your skin, it could just destroy the skin and eat its way right through you. But you have to understand that, like, this is in America. What I'm about to show you, this is in Nevada. This is right outside of Las Vegas. All right. This is how many nuclear explosions we had
Wow.
back in the day. All right.
Look how layered they are.
I mean, look at this shit. You know what I mean? That's the Nevada test range. Each one of those is a nuclear explosion. If you click on it, it could tell you all about them. This one's called Fulcrum Scupper, August 19th, 1977, and it tells
Jim,
you like how big they were and all that.
is this program that we're looking at? Is this? I mean, I've never heard about this. Is this some NSA? Where is this? How did you find?
I wrote this.
Oh, okay.
If you don't believe me, I'm gonna click it right here. Watch this. This is brackets, and let's go over here. I don't know what this is.
Oh wow,
This
we got a really informative guest on.
This is the way I code. So
Did
this
you write that with HTML?
Yeah, I mean it's HTML, JavaScript, and jQuery.
Yeah.
So
I
this
wrote-
is the client.
I wrote that
beginning-
at Dell Computer for 3 years.
So this is load GeoJSON. This file we're looking at right now is a GeoJSON marker set. So you just go to what the hell is going on there? Oh, what did I just do? I think I just killed my share.
Just go back up to share.
Yeah, I see it. I'm a pro. I've done about probably 200 hangouts. All right, so yeah, so this code right here is load GeoJSON marker, and it picks up my thing. I can scale them. I can say fly to them. You know, I write all this stuff. So I mean, it's pretty lengthy. See, there's on this file is 2,000 lines of code. And that's
So
just
were you taking information like out of a lot of different sources and then you put it all?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is my layer file, and if you see, like right here, this is USDA Natural Resource Conservation Service Snowtel snowfall monitors. This is Meteosat, and I go and I have to put all this in. So it's a KML file. Here's the link to it that's live on the internet. Here's the information about it for it. Here's the link to where I got the info from. So for like attribution, and I go through and I've been adding these for 3 years. So right now, I think I've got about 400 layers in here.
Wow.
That's the map list right there. This is the master file for all of the maps, and you can see that's what's up here on the sidebar, and you can go through them. I've got, like we said, the ionospheric heaters. I'll show you that. So these red dots are ionospheric heaters. That's HART. Everybody knows that one. This one's Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
That's the Arecibo Enhanced High Frequency Ionospheric Heater. Here's a picture of it. You can go up here, hit open link in a new
You got
tab.
that new one in China?
Yeah.
What's that one that's in Australia that looks like a cube within a cube within a cube?
That's Fort Holt. That's Holt, Harold Holt Station. That's what I had to dig that up. You kind of caught me. It's been a while. Here, I'll go show it to you. It's over here. And it's not a HARP. It's actually a VLF station. So instead, I'm going to turn this one off, and I'm going to go to Super Darn and ELF. So it's an ELF station, and it's right here.
Could you explain what the difference is?
Yeah, so like when I first got into this, I was studying harp rings from Dutch Sense, and I was like, I gotta know more about this, and nobody's telling me shit. So I just started to map them, like put dots on my Google Earth, and then finally I started to learn about the different networks and how to group them and what is this and what classifies as that. And for it to be an ionospheric heater, it has to be 2.8 to 10 megahertz. Period. So if it's not in that range, it ain't an ionospheric heater.
Okay.
Period, point blank, end of story. So I had to put it in a different category, and that's ELF and VLF transmitters. So these are anything with a pretty low frequency on it. And I'm going to change this back to the satellite. So you go down to the bottom base layer, I'll turn off dark matter and turn on beam.
And
Yeah.
as the low frequency modulates within the atmosphere, can it go from low frequency modulate into high frequency?
Yeah, see, like, there's ways to, like, ride a signal on another signal, There's a lot of really fancy things you can do with radio frequency, but
Oh, Jim, leave this up real quick. Now, see how it's a six-sided within a six-sided. It's like a cube within a cube. Can you guys see that
That
they
is
have
so
the?
awesome.
I mean, can you see
So
the
pretty.
shape? They have
Yeah,
the Star of David in there. I mean, can you see that?
that is beautiful.
there's a whole
Whoa.
bunch of them. This is just the most popular one because somebody found it.
Right, right.
But in reality, there's a whole bunch of these guys. Let me check this out.
Well, can you does this like installation have a different effect on the environment as opposed to Harper and X-Rad?
No, I mean, at the end of the day, it's 2 million watts. So I go for all of these. I've gone and like hunted down meticulously to get the statistics on them. It's very hard to find this stuff. So for me, it's kind of like a Where's Waldo for geeky things. And like for this one, it says Northwest Cape. It's 19,800 hertz. So at 2 million watts. So its output is 2 million watts, but that doesn't state what its effective radiated power is. So that could be much above that. HARP has a maximum output of 3.6 million watts. Okay, but its effective radiated power is 5 billion
Yeah.
watts. So, I mean, these things are pretty powerful, and the bottom line is that these lower frequency transmissions, the lower you go, the more likely it is to affect your brain. So that's the main concern with ELF. Not so much VLF. VLF can affect your emotions, but the lower the frequency, the worse it tends to affect our brain. So.
And also in my research, I'm hearing that the ultra low frequencies have the best result in steering the storms. They use these tones literally in conjunction with, I guess, chemtrails or whatever, and they steer the storms with tones.
Okay, so there's this group called Acquiesce, and they have this stuff called weather resonance technology where they steer storms with it, and it's called upper atmospheric rivers, atmospheric rivers, UARs, oceanic atmospheric rivers. There's several terms for them, but they are tropospheric rivers. They are rivers in the sky. So
Whoa.
these dudes like try to steer them around, and I mean, I got all into it, and it turns out that the guy who's like head of the project, who signed the paperwork to modify the weather in Texas, the permit, was an ex-military colonel, and he has a group on Facebook of ninja warrior scary motherfuckers, and he's the guy that's steering the weather in Texas right now. So since I did an article on it,
Because that was their
'Cause you can
biggest. I
see.
listened to a lecture on scientists. The main one was Russian scientists, and they said how the biggest obstacle they had wasn't seeding, wasn't manipulating. It was manipulating the jet stream and manipulating to make it move. And
yeah.
and this was back, I don't know, in the 70s, 60s. I mean, they've been doing weather modification since the 1920s and smoke curtains, but when they've really been trying to learn how to steer it, and I think they've definitely got it down to a T.
Yeah, so this is the article, if you guys want to read it, How Texas Stole California's Rain. And basically, like, here I do some history on cloud seeding just so people know about this stuff. And here's some maps, historical maps this is 52 to 65. These are the cloud seeding projects in America. That's
What was that project called? Project Skywater?
Yeah, this is Skywater. This is from 1972. This is when the government was funding all the cloud seeding projects. This is a video on my YouTube called Mountain Skywater where you can actually see the flaring stations. This is what they look like. Basically, propane tank burning silver iodide. And this is from the U.S. Bureau of Land Reclamation.
And this is
So this,
before they just dumped it out with the chemtrail. They were just
yeah, well, they did that too back then. They would still do it from flares and planes, but and see, this is a helicopter taking them up. You know,
yeah.
Department
Did you
of the
hear about
Interior.
how the submarines would go into Vietnam and they would shoot these up like straight up, and all the storms, it would basically a magnet. They would shoot it up, and then it would surround where they shot it up. Is this kind of the same technology?
Yeah, so on that note, you totally are right on the money. Here's the weather warfare in Vietnam. It's Operation Popeye. But here's what it actually looked like. Those are cloud seeding rack dispensers and bombs. So they would put a whole lot of silver iodide flares in each of these tubes, and then they would drop a bomb and shoot them out of it, or directly on the side of a plane, so on a C-130. But anyway, so there's hurricane steering from the Department of Homeland Security. Here's an old school.
Oh, Jim, can I ask you something? Can they steer? What's the technology they use that if like the hurricane, let's just say the ones that over on the Atlantic, because we know HARP, unless they have a couple arrays that are on ships, they can't do much that's not over land. How do they do it over water?
At the end of the day, they don't. This is like the biggest. I think it's like the biggest straw man bait and switch ever. Everybody blames HARP for modifying the weather. It modifies space weather.
Right.
So you know cloud seeding. What they do is called plasma seeding. So plasma seeding happens in space. Cloud seeding happens in the troposphere. And like it's like the biggest head screw that anybody has. Everybody believes that HARP can steer the weather. Bernard Eastland, who invented the technology, said we need 100 gigawatts to steer the weather. John Herscher, the guy who runs HARP today, or before the University of Alaska bought it, John Herscher said, no, we can't steer the weather. We need 100 gigawatts to do that. And I agree with him. But here's the thing. Right now in Tromsø, Norway, they are building a 100 gigawatt ionospheric heater. It's called IceCat 3D. And that will be able to steer the weather. But these guys say they can do it now. And it ain't with HARP. It says signals are launched from ground-based servers to adjust flight paths of weather systems.
Now, what would these installations be called?
They're cloud ionizers. That's what they call them.
So basically, these are VLF stations, and they call them cloud ionizers, or I'm just trying to figure out what's the. So these really don't have a name. I mean, cloud ionizers, basically.
That's what they call them. And I'll show you. I'm sure I've got a link to it on here somewhere. Hold on.
Cloud ionizers.
And are they like the seeding bombs you were showing us, or are they like?
These are like little electric antennas. Here, I'll show you. Hold on. So the other article is cloud ionization. There it is. Cloud ionization, electric rainmaking, and laser-guided weather modification. So this is a WeatherTech tower. This is in Abu Dhabi, see? And then they've got this sign here. This is cloud seeding. This is ion seeding. So it's cloud seeding with ions instead of silver iodide. You put negatively charged ions up, it actually would reduce pollution as opposed to this putting poisonous materials up there. So I'm kind of, if you're going to modify the weather, at least do it this way. Negatively charged ions make people happy.
And this is actually what CERN, I forget the name of the project, but they have one that's contained. They have like a cloud lab, but they also do it in real time. And they use this. They use the ions, and then they fire. Whether the ions.
That's it right there. That's the cloud generation. That's the CERN cloud.
Boom! He's on it.
So check this out. So this shit is so controversial that the WMO had a special meeting of the expert team on weather modification research. The World Meteorological Organization, a UN body, has an expert team on controlling the weather. And they said weather modification technologies that claim to achieve such large-scale dramatic effects do not have a sound scientific basis, e.g. hail cannons ionization methods and should
Well,
be treated with
what-
suspicion. So basically, the WMO is going, all this you're about to see, guys, these towers, is hokey bullshit. It does not work.
huh.
But I mean, look at this. This one's called WeatherTech. It's made by Mateo Systems. This one's called AST Clear Sky Manager. It's an ionization tower. You see it right there. This one, see, and then here's a
What do
diagram.
do you know anything about Wilhelm Reich and his like
Yep.
Organite
Yep.
machine?
And the cloud busters and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Yep. So, and here's how it's supposed to work. Negatively charged ion gets up into the clouds and they make it rain. And they've even got promotional videos and shit. New ways to water. Australian rain technologies. I mean,
Now, do they hit these with RF frequency, or they just send up the ions and
so
can you
this
go
is so this is the one that's special. David Kaczynski, CEO, Cyblue Inc., U.S. Air Force Company, La Junta, Colorado, USA. He says fresh water has been dubbed blue gold in many publications, as potable water will be to this century what oil was to the last century. That's scary. So he's talking about, Mad Max water wars. While large efforts and money have been allocated for localized weather modification, Cyblue is looking into using tropospheric rivers to deliver rain to parched areas of the world now, and possibly abatement operations of severe weather in the future. So this is where it gets nuts. The proprietary weather modification system operates by utilizing resonance signals to divert oceanic atmospheric rivers into areas experiencing severe drought. And then they did it in 2012, said, we're going to do it here. Acquiesce and Cyblue are going to team up. And then they said, here's the 7-day anomaly. It's off the chart, where they actually steered the river in there. Well, guess what? That's when California's drought started.
Well, is this tied in with the the jet stream?
No, this is a atmospheric river. It's totally different. Watch this.
Okay, can you explain what an atmosphere river is?
Yeah, I got a video of it in this other article. Watch this.
Oh my God, we hit gold with this.
The reason why I asked about the Organite thing, but there's some people saying that they're using that to get rid of chemtrails. Do you have any thoughts on that?
No comment.
Right on.
It's ridiculous. I'll believe it when I see it. I've got friends that, sell that stuff, but damn. I don't believe a crystal is going to make a cloud go away that's 30,000 feet away. That's 5 miles, 6 miles. And if it does, what's it doing to the water in my body? So that's a river. See it right there?
This is atmospheric rivers.
Yes. So these are way up in the air, and basically they are large bodies of water. All along the center of the equator, we have this major river that goes around.
And this is California, and they're diverting these. And this is because we used to get. I remember, 20 years ago we got we didn't get the craziest seasons, but at least we got rain.
Yeah, so that's what normally would happen, is that these rivers would be going into California, but suddenly they have disappeared from California and started.
And Dutch Sense has caught what looks to be some sort of wall that's diverting it south.
That's Acquiesce and Cyblue. So that's the point. Here's where it gets even crazier. In October, we had a 1,000-year flood here in South Carolina. I am the only nigga on the planet talking about steering atmospheric rivers. And an atmospheric river landed on my house and stayed there for 3 days straight. We got 28 inches of rain a day.
Oh, we're making headway. So you're saying that these could be the culprit behind the rain bombs?
This is actually what this is. I've been preaching this thing since 2012, trying to tell people, wake up. HAARP is not steering your weather. This guy actually has a permit. I can show you the freaking permit, man. Hold on.
But who is actually in charge of? I'm trying to decipher if these rain bombs are natural, or are they being steered actually over to cause civil emergencies?
I think at the end of the day, most of it's butterfly effect. And, at the end of the day, if you're modifying the weather and then bad weather occurs, you own it. You break, you buy. So whether they intended to kill people or it accidentally happened, you modify the weather killed somebody.
So they're modifying the weather here and then across, in Japan, it's creating something like monstrositous because okay, the butterfly effect. That makes sense. That makes sense.
All right, so I think I'm looking for it real quick. All right, so here it is. Presiding officer Frank Riley moved to the agenda to consideration and possible recommendation on a request for exemption status for a proposed rain enhancement demonstration project in the Trans-Pecos region. George Bomar introduced David Kaczynski, who has proposed more water for the reservoir of the Red Bluff, blah, blah, blah. Kaczynski presented a PowerPoint on the concepts of increasing the water supply and a research project to enhance rain. This project would be conducted in association with SOURCE. That's the Southern Gallery. Anyway, I'm not going to get into all that. So this is the actual paper where they, went and talked to the Texas Weather Modification Board and got permission to do this shit. So it's not even like they're hiding it, you know what I mean? And this dude right here, who's the president, David Kaczynski, I've never seen a picture of him. I saw a picture of him on his ninja bike wearing a helmet looking scary as fuck. But this guy is the CEO of Acquiesce, the other company that did the Rain Aid project, these guys up here. And
now, what kind of cover are they saying that they're? I mean, obviously, they have to say they're doing good. What are they saying What are they saying that they're doing?
Well, I mean, they say that they are bringing. All right, so this is called the Global Rain Project, for Acquiesce, and it was called.
But they're droughting out
Aid.
California.
Well, they were doing this in Africa, so the Horn of Africa. They said they were.
I was just about to say that too.
Yeah, they did
Only
it in
because
Africa.
you mentioned, not to interrupt you, but when you were talking about, collecting water, they've been doing that in Africa since 1995. They've been charging like lots of indigenous people every time it rained. They've been charging them by the gallon how much money. They've been charging them money in areas where they don't even have a monetary system, right? So they have to sell everything that they own in order to keep the water that's falling from the sky.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to do in Colorado. That aqua dollar is going to get super powerful really soon.
So in America, we have ground-based cloud seeding stations at all of these locations. All the red dots. And these are paid for by the states and the water control commissions. You can see I've got my damn pictures aren't coming up right now. Are you serious?
Hey, do you mind if I do a video on this? This is the best information I've come across.
Yeah, go for it. Preliminary feasibility study and cost estimates for possible winter cloud seeding in the Humboldt River Basin, paid for by the North American Weather Consultants, as the people is going to modify the weather. And this is what it looks like. They go and they talk to the district. They say, here's where we're going to cloud seed, and here's what the generators look like. See, and I went and took way too much time and mapped them out and put them here. So like
Your work is going to pay off, believe me.
Yeah, oh my God, this is amazing.
I can't wait
till man. You put your time in, it paid off. Look at this.
Yeah.
This is great.
So check this out. So in the geoengineering folder at the very end, you can see the NOAA reported weather modification activities for 2012 through 2004. This is where you actually report it by law to NOAA. And you can see these here. And I've got North American Weather Consultants was paid by the Duchesne County Water Conservation District for snowpack augmentation in the High Unitas, and it sells 1,000 square miles were seeded. These are the weather modification reports from the government. So I put them all together, and I'll drop you guys this link. Check this out.
Now, Jim, why are they saying that they're doing this? I mean, obviously we have weather patterns. Are they trying? I don't understand what their justification is for doing this.
I'm going to show you the justification right now.
I can understand if it was like for snow, because like Aspen, Colorado pays you extra to make sure they got some snowpack,
Yeah, exactly. So
there's a commercial side to it.
Yeah, so this is Delta Airlines paying Um, Barkin International Airfield paid for fog suppression to make the fog go away from on the runway. Yeah, Wyoming Weather Modification Pilot Program, Precipitation Enhancement, paid for, did by Weather Modification Inc. Eden Valley Irrigation and Drainage District paid for it. You know, and the list goes on. I made a Google Fusion table out of all of them. And you can see, you know, who's paying for the weather, why they did it. They say snowpack augmentation, so put extra snow on top of the thing. But occasionally, you'll see things like, you know, a ski resort, you know, that paid for it. So I know that there's
Oh
some
my
in here.
God.
Yeah, I mean,
Jesus. That's so
these are-
crazy that you have like private entities like paying for these.
yeah,
Well, that's
Here it is.
what government is. That's what government is private entities. That's what
Yeah.
it's fascism.
So this is Alta Ski Lift Company paid North American weather consultants to put snow on top of their mountain in October through December 2004 and a whole bunch of other times. So, I mean, it's just par for the course. And the rest of them are like aquifers, you know, like we need to fill up our reservoir, so we're going to pay somebody to cloud seed or put ice on top of the mountain. So
Now
that the rest
you're
goes-
talking about places that this can be steered or what. I'm talking about California. Why, you know that there's places that would pay to get water. Can they not
Yeah,
do
that's
it?
right.
Can they not do it in the very beginning of the jet stream or whatever? Do they need to divert it and then they could do it, like in places like Colorado or anywhere else? Can they do it in the very beginning, like California, like where it starts?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, with cloud seeding, they're just trying to put more particulates into the cloud so they get more water out. So at the end of the day, they're just going to dump it. It's always on. You know what I mean? Like it's just constantly burning these little bars of silver and putting more, they're called cloud condensation nuclei up there. So, I mean, that's just the basics of it.
Now,
I think
can I ask you something, Jim? Did you hear about the snow that people were testing and it wasn't burning?
It was a trick.
That
Just
was to lead us off the real stuff.
Yeah, it's just a trick. It's
Okay.
a funny little trick.
All right.
Now, Jim, people want to know, how can we predict rain bombs with this program you've created?
That's what I'm working on. I mean, I really need to get off here, and I can't talk about what I got a new system coming out where it's kind of like Facebook meets what you're seeing now, where you guys can log in, post, you know, reports. Right now, you can post reports this way. Right here, it says Climate View Reports. Click on it. It'll bring up our report app, and you can actually submit your own reports. You can see we've got several thousand of these. I haven't really pushed this thing in a while because we're combining it all together. But
So there's a 2.0 coming out pretty soon?
Yeah, it's going to be pretty badass. So, like, say, click on this.
Jim, you have no idea. This is, people are going to have their eye on this. We're going to push this all throughout the community. People are going to love this.
Well, I'm going to show you. I appreciate that, man. I'm going to show you a couple other really unique things that are on here, and then I'm going to get out of your hair. So on the surveillance thing.
No, stay as long as you want. Believe me.
Oh, I got to go to bed, dude.
All right.
My daughter goes to school at 6 in the morning.
Before you leave, I'd like to know how you found out about the Research Revolution, too. Had you watched this before?
Oh, no. Ison sent me the link in Facebook, and I'm curious. I'm a curious person. Like, I'm always up for a good time. So I just looked.
Well, thank you for hanging out. This is amazing.
So in the surveillance, I appreciate it. So in the surveillance section, you can actually see government spy facilities. This has got me in more trouble than anybody knows.
Oh my God.
But it's the NSA, Ozcan-Zuckus, and the 14 Eyes. So if you don't know Ozcan-Zuckus, it's Australia, New Zealand, Canada, US, UK. They are the 5 eyes of the New World Order. These are the undersea cables for all your internets.
Yep.
And they always
the 5 eyes for the New World Order? What do you mean?
Well, it's on climateviewer.com. If you go to the top, right here it says New World Order Technocrats. This is what I mean. So, New World Order, this is how it works. See, information sharing complexity, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, US, Great Britain, UK. So it says FBE, 5 eyes, ACGU, 4 eyes. The 4 eyes are at the top. New Zealand gets to play in the 5 eyes. Then you got the 14 eye, the 9 eyes, and the 14 eyes. And they
And we're talking about the
yeah,
global English white. So this has nothing to do with China or Russia.
yeah. It's called the Anglosphere. It's the 5 eye, the 9 eyes are Denmark, France, the Netherlands, Norway, and the 14 are Germany, Belgium, Italy, Spain, and Sweden. Together, this is the New World Order. Boom.
Oh my God.
Blow your
Oh
mind
my
up.
God.
Blow your
But
damn
why
mind
is
up.
China not in that?
Because do they look white?
This is
Oh,
the
I see yours is the
Anglo.
Oh, I see
It's
what you're saying.
it's called the Anglosphere. I didn't make these terms up. But the network itself is called Stone Ghost, and basically a dude was caught selling all the information off of Stone Ghost to Russia for $3,000 a month. So it's rough stuff. Just look through it. You'll enjoy it. It's on here. It's called New World Order, Technocrats, and Surveillance State. And this is the map. So if you look at it, like every time all the network cables meet back to an NSA facility, you know what I mean?
Where is that? Is that in California? San Juan?
This is
Oh, San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Naval Security Group Savannah Seca.
Oh my God! And what are these? Are these underground cables or what? What are these?
Yeah, these
connecting?
are under ocean cables. This is what this one looks like. A picture
Holy
of
hell! What's that one? That the eye right there. What is
That's
that?
a CUNA NCTAM station,
Hawaii.
Naval Communications station. It's the CUNA Regional Security Operations Center. Pretty badass. So, and then you see right here, look, I mean, they all connect right to it. This is the Naval Command and Telecommunication Station
it's in
at
Guam.
Guam. Yeah, that's Guam. And you can actually, and I'm not joking when I do these things, watch this shit.
I told you they use them in unison.
Yeah, just watch this. Come down here. You can actually see them. I'm not making this shit up. I'm pretty accurate. Every single dot.
We could tell. We could tell.
It's incredible.
Most
this is-
accurate on the internet, dude.
That's on Guam.
Yeah.
My old sergeant was on Guam.
That's what they call an elephant cage. It's old style. It's a listening station. It's for intercepting signals.
It's awesome.
Yep. So these are interception stations. So I put them all in one group, you know. And I'm gonna go add some more, but I've kind of been on hold on this one. This is the Lincolnshire poacher in Cyprus, and it really pisses Iraq off, or Iran. It's right there.
Jim, if you look at your analytics in the next couple of weeks, you're going to see that there's a flood of people. I didn't know about this, and I've been researching this for years and years. This is the awesomest tool.
I know, right?
I appreciate it, man. Dude, I look at it as like a video game. Watch this shit. Even for you flat earthers out there, hold on to your pants.
Yeah.
Got time.
We got flat earth mode.
Nice.
That's cool.
Nice, dude.
And this is the this isn't the azimuthal equidistant one. I wonder if you had the round one, how it would look.
No, I don't have the
that's
round. That's the same smart ass shit the last flat earther said to me. Well, you don't.
Oh,
have
I
the
wasn't
band.
trying to be a smart. No, I wasn't trying to be a smart ass.
I know I'm being funny, dude. Just,
Yeah, but that's
don't
the basic flat.
Okay, so let me show you. I'm gonna show you all one last thing, and then I really need to get off here. So you can do all of this stuff at the top is live. So when you go to earthquakes, you can hit all 2.5 plus earthquakes. There's a little tree icon here. When you click on it, it'll show you all of the markers. If you click on any of these, it'll fly you to it. Pretty cool.
I'm glad you put your time in on this, Jim. This is an effective tool.
It's fun, man.
Absolutely.
It's fun too. Like knowing is half the
I can really
battle,
nerd
right?
up on this.
So the
Yeah,
server
Jim,
updates.
you're a godsend. I can't believe that you. This is so awesome.
Dude, it's
Does
fun.
the server update the earthquakes in real time?
Yeah, so it's always pulling directly from the sources that I have. I've got the
It's a dynamic
Euromed.
database. I love it. I love everything about it.
Yeah, it's real time situational awareness. Boom. You know, it's
So we
everything you
can
want to know
run-
in one spot.
That's great because we can run that in conjunction with all of the ionospheric pressure at the same time and kind of get an idea as to what's been manufactured.
That's what I'm trying to do is to correlate some layers. So I've got the European version of the earthquakes up. Now I'm going to put up the American version, and I want you to see something interesting. We said there was this many. The Europeans are like, those fracking wells are doing all of these. So like I can get multiple different websites worth of sources and compare them. And here, this is my favorite features are in the weather section. So I've got tropical storm, like hurricane trackers and all that stuff.
Hey, Jim, before you leave, brother, what's your handle so we can find you?
Oh, it's Resonated, REZNAT. All my shit's right up here. Click on the picture of me, and then there's my YouTube,
Perfect.
my Facebook, and my Twitter. So just
All
click
right.
on my mug up here, and there's links. And this is my about page. So
8D, gotcha, Jim Lee. All right, brother.
that's my logo.
I dig it, man.
Appreciate it so much, man.
Yeah, it was fun, guys. I'm kind of like taking a break and getting everything all coded up, and my thing is called Climate Viewer, and NASA copied it with a Globe Observer, and they've got this.
So we know that's full of shit.
Well, no, I'm actually going to go pimp it right now because I want people to use this. Right now, they're having a data challenge from today till 2 weeks from today. Take pictures of clouds worldwide. And the reason I'm going to do this is I'm going to tell everybody.
Doing that today, Jim.
Yeah, start taking photos of chemtrails and sending them in because this is going to go in a NASA data set that's going to be permanent, historical, and studied by thousands of scientists. So if you don't like chemtrails,
objective truth, I can do that.
Yeah, if you don't like chemtrails, go download the app and take pictures of them every time you see them.
But you're saying that NASA, this is NASA?
Yeah.
Huh.
I work with two NASA guys. They were retired NASA like 35 years.
Yeah.
Well, I just heard that NASA was involved with. I mean, Air Force, obviously, NASA. I feel like they're getting geospatial intelligence real time. But okay, whatever.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, these are citizen reports. This is what I mean. If you go to my website,
Objective
right?
truth that you can prove.
Yeah. So if you go to climateviewer.org and you go to the front page, you'll see. This is the stuff, like here's the map and here's what we're planning on doing and here's the new features coming. And basically, like their app is what we were planning on doing anyway, having it, but where you can connect and you can go. Here, I want to show you this, and I gotta bounce, but this is one of the coolest things. You can come in here to the satellite section, click on satellites, click on this, and see the satellite for today. So that's fresh. So that we just changed. So I'm gonna go back to yesterday. You just click up here on the date, choose the date anywhere far back to like 2012, I think is when it all goes. So you can come all the way back to here.
But they have all the stuff, like the stuff that you said you were getting in trouble with, the NSA stations and stuff. They have that too.
What do you mean they?
NASA.
Oh no, they don't have this. They wish they could be me. Like I had all this before. I had all this before Worldview, the NASA app that everybody's constantly using. This piece of shit.
Tell them they're plagiarizing. You are very litigious.
It's all good, dude. Flattery, imitation is the greatest form of flattery. So
very true.
Like this
Bernie
thing right
this
here.
video up, man.
You can.
Yeah, but you were the real deal. They copied from you.
Yeah, it's all good. They kiss my ass. So if you use the share link right here, it'll share the date that you have chosen, the layer that's currently up, and it doesn't share these sliders. I'm working on that, but see, watch. I'm gonna click it. It's gonna bring it back to the map, zoom in to the same spot, and that's the whole purpose of the thing. The map is that you can quickly share. Like, hey man, I was on dude's map and I was looking at this nuclear power plant. Why the fuck is that not working? So, sorry. NASA servers being very slow.
Now, with all these storms that are hitting both on the west and east coast, I saw that you had a hurricane thing. Can you just really before you leave, last thing? Can you? Is there anything that we could use that for as far as gathering intel and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, you can see all of where the tropical storms are on here. It'll light them up for you. This is the ones that are currently active.
Let's kick ass, man.
There's one down here. There's a couple up here. Here's the warnings. You click on it, it'll tell you, this is the warning type. If you get a weather warnings and you get a long term under alerts, these. Give it a second. This is a pretty big map I'm pulling up right now. There's this one damn thing. I'm sharing. I heard that.
Yeah.
Maps, I love you.
Yeah.
I have a crush on you. I won't lie.
Anyway, yeah, so like it'll show you the warning areas. You click this up and it'll tell you tropical storm warning here, flash flood warning here, high waves, tropical storm watch, wind, land advisory, all that stuff. So, I mean, if you just click through the weather layers and under alerts, there's stuff there. There's the weather radar is here, so you want to turn on the XRAD and see it live. There it is.
Wow.
Man, I'm trying to hold back my excitement, but this is
know,
so
right?
awesome.
The wind right here. You turn that one on, it'll show the wind direction and everything. Pretty cool stuff.
Man, I thought I had some good wind maps, dude, but I just got lapped. This is good stuff.
It's my internet's really slow, dude. I moved out of the country, so I've got a DSL. I'm sharing my screen and
man.
trying to load on this, so it's
And,
going to be slow. I've
No
got
worries,
a
Jim.
ton of data on this thing right now. Just clear
Yeah, I
it
was
off.
going through a satellite up until about
Yeah.
a year ago. Couldn't do nothing with that satellite.
Thank you.
Are you happy with your choice of moving out of the country?
Well, he seems like a smart guy, and he moved out of the country right as it's getting, pretty.
See, I did that. I moved from Austin to out here in the country, south of Corpus Christi, to just in case something went down. I want to be able to